Hi everyone, I'm Maliha Cox, and today I'm doing a case study interview with one of my clients, Shari, who's just taken my alignment course as a 4-month group coaching program. So she's going to be speaking with us today and sharing her experience. Hi, Shari.
Hi.
Thank you for being here and doing this. I appreciate it so much.
No worries. No worries. I'm happy to be here. So, yeah.
Okay, good. So I have a few questions for you. I'm just going to get started right away.
Just a few.
Yeah, well, a couple of handfuls. Right,
Okay.
but I want to jump right in because, as you know, we've spent 4 months together. We have a tendency to enjoy each other's company and talk, but I
Yes.
want to get right to it for those that are watching and wanting to find out what alignment is all about and what the course
Yes.
is all about. So,
Sure.
number one,
Yeah.
are you happy? I know the answer to this, but
Yeah.
share with the people. Are you happy to have taken this alignment course and to have had this experience?
Yeah, totally. I mean, here's the thing. Like when I came into the course, again, I didn't know what the course was totally going to be about.
Yeah.
And so I've been so pleasantly surprised by what the course has given me, and and my happiness comes from just getting a deeper understanding of myself. And I know we're going to get into it and get into the ins and outs of the course and all that, but I'm so happy that I took this course because it was the right time for me, and it was also calling to me to do the course. So I'm so happy that I honored the call, and I was so that I said yes to myself, because it has been an investment of an investment in myself. That's what it is, and you can't go wrong when you invest in yourself.
No, you really can't. And I love everything you said just now because some people feel like an experience like this is calling to them. But like you said, they're unsure of what it's going to entail and how it's going to go. But all you can do is say yes. Say yes to yourself, investing in yourself and the experience, and you'll be so much happier on the other side. So
Yeah,
wonderful. Okay,
absolutely.
cool. All right. What are a few of the main ways this course has changed you for the better?
Okay, so one of the things that I was called to do is, I was listening. I felt that I was listening too much to what was going on outside of me.
Okay.
There was I think we're all conditioned in a way to see what everybody else is up to, or
Yeah.
what's happening outside, and let me go and ask this person and that person. And you get like, sometimes when it comes to the big decisions in life, you want to have a panel of advisors, right? And again, all those your expert panel is on the outside, but yet there is a voice inside all of us. And if we care to quiet down and listen, that is your intuition, that is your, I think, inner wisdom. And so, I was already pulled. I was already pulled to listen to, there is this, inner wisdom, voice that was coming out. I just wasn't trusting it. And
Right.
so one of the things that, I got to do in this course is to really tune in. See, some of the things you had us do, they had, they were, I say they were easy tasks, but not simple. Or I may have gotten that the other way around. But
I get it.
basically, when some of the tasks that we had to uncover for ourselves, they're deep questions that you have to tune in to get the answers to. And
Right.
so one of the things I loved about this course is you get to practice tuning in, because the
Yeah.
answers are never outside. The answers are always within. And when you quiet down the outside noise, you get to hear what really matters to you. And that's what I really, I just I was so happy to have been given this container, this space to really answer those questions for myself. And so, you know, now sometimes when things happen, I often go, I take a step back. I find myself going, where's the lesson in this? This experience may not be a great experience that is happening in my life at the moment.
Right.
But
Module 5.
exactly. But you get to ask the question, where's the lesson in this?
Exactly.
You
Yes.
know, and that's not a question that I often ask myself. Instead, I was saying things like, why is this happening to me? Why, you know, why? Who did this? Who did that? You know, why is this happening? And and so yeah, I think that was one of the biggest shifts for me, just to go like, okay, this happened, and what's the lesson?
That's
You
so
know?
good and so important for you to share, because it's really common for people to ask disempowering questions. Very common. Why is this happening? Who did this to me? Why? Seeking answers from the outside instead of within. And when you can learn to hear your own inner wisdom, your own intuition, then you become a little wiser and you start looking for the lesson. You can move through something that's uncomfortable so much faster, and you can actually turn it and reframe it into something positive that actually gets to work for you, not against you. So thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that.
No, absolutely. And you know, another thing I want to add to that is in one of the lessons, no, one of the calls that we had, I forget which one, we had this conversation about life happening to us versus life happening for us.
Yeah.
And you know, that was a great conversation that we had during our coaching calls. You know, because it's a group environment, we all get to contribute to that conversation. In and when you understand that life is happening, always happening for you, it may not seem that way. I mean, honestly, I've come to some of our calls going, why is this happening to me? And then kind of go, okay, let me shift that. Let me ask a better question, because there is something in here for me that I need to learn. And when you come from a place of inquiry, you come from a place of curiosity, that's a stronger place to be in. It's a more
Yes, it's a
secure
powerful
place to
shift.
be in. And so,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
so, yeah.
It is such a powerful shift to make,
Mm,
because once you make that shift, then you stop receiving the lessons about the same thing. And quite often, if people will get real with themselves, they'll realize the thing that they're asking why about, why, it keeps happening because they're never getting the lesson. They never go within to seek out, what am I doing to attract this? What am I not understanding? And so watching you have those shifts week to week and really get that, I mean, your perspective on what's unfolding for you has done almost a 180, and I can see the change in you. And before, there was a bit of frustration around, okay, how can I change these things? Why are certain people and situations showing up for me? And now you're like, okay, I get it. And now you actually respond differently, and the outcome of what shows up for you has also done a 180
yes.
because you have yourself with your internal shifting.
Yes, and you know, I've recognized that there have been moments where I've been in a place of uncertainty. You know, it's somewhat just empowering to say weakness, right? It's not
Right.
weakness. It's more uncertainty, not listening to intuition, and then you know, I think what this course has given me is that shift from uncertainty to certainty, knowing, sifting through that. Okay, recognizing that you know this emotion I'm feeling right now, which is not the highest frequency in terms of emotions. It's you know it's somewhat that it might be a fearful situation or frustrating situation, and then understanding that you know I'm feeling that way, and then going I choose to feel another way, and then shifting through to a place of more empowerment. Really, it is, you know, you are moving towards an empowering feeling, just consciously moving, choosing and moving through it, that's something, I could never imagine this course would give me. It's not in your sales page, by the way. It's a nice thing to have come to understand and appreciate. So totally. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is so good. And I'm so happy that you feel that sense of empowerment now. And so, yes, maybe I should include this clip in my sales pitch.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right. So, in going through the material, the exercises on self-awareness
Mm.
specifically, how has that helped improve your relationships?
Okay, so um, I'm smiling because they were not easy questions, and they and I appreciate that they're not designed to be easy questions, because if you really want to excavate who you are as a person and how you want to run your relationships, you really got to know you.
Yeah,
And some of the questions were very uncomfortable, Maliha. They were
I
very
know.
uncomfortable.
I know. I do.
Um,
The self-awareness exercises go deep. Yes. Go ahead.
and therein lies the magic, because you explained it to us so well. This is not a course where you swim at the surface.
No.
In order to appreciate the beauty that is within you have to dive deep. And through that exploration, it helped me understand that, okay, you know what? Years ago, I had done a exercise where I learned to understand what my values were. And so I hadn't done anything. So this course, I think, gave me an opportunity to revisit my personal values and see whether anything new has come up. And in that's also helped me understand the type of person I want to show up as
Hmm.
to a relationship, and what it is that I'm looking for from the other person as well. And just, the reality is sometimes we have like really, and I explained this in our call, right? We really have some really tricky relationships with people and some really good relationships with people. And those good relationships, we tend to find that we resonate on a personal values perspective. Those relationships that are tricky, what this course has helped me do is understand better where they're coming from, understand what my role is to that relationship, and
Yeah.
how do I want to be in dealing with some of the people in my life, because some are business relationships, some are acquaintances, and they need to be in my life because of circumstances. But how I interact with them and um, how I let them make me feel. Sorry, I'm not even saying that very well, but
No, I get
how,
it.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How I receive them, right? Is all up to me. you know?
Yes, that is such an important point. Right. I think what you are getting at is what we spoke about a couple of calls ago, which is no one can make us feel anything, but having that sense of self-awareness, knowing who we are, knowing what we want, knowing what we don't want, when we interact with someone who's being difficult or it's a tricky relationship, then we can recognize what's happening as per our feelings, and then we can be intentional about what we allow in our space and
Mhm.
how we allow someone to affect us or not.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I think growing up, like, okay, I don't know about you, but my mom always told me, oh, what will the neighbors think? And what will so and so think? And so so part of growing up, I've always heard that. And so, it was easy for me to think, well, some of the things that I do is, or how people feel about me is important because that's what I heard growing up, right? And
Yeah.
then I've come to realize that actually, you know what, that's not true. And we get to challenge some of the things that we heard all our life in this course, right? because when you start looking at, where is this thought from? Where is this belief from? Right? And then I
Yep.
get to go,
Much
oh,
before.
my
Yes.
mom, my
Yeah.
dad,
Yeah.
or somebody in the family.
Yes.
And then we get to challenge ourselves and ask the question, is that true? Uh, is there another way? How do I really feel about this? What does this mean? Am I right? Am I wrong? And according to me. And when you start shifting through, and this is what the course has allowed me to do, then you get to a clearer, cleaner energy, which was not polluted by what you've heard all your life growing up. It's now like, oh, I can discern for myself. I like this, I don't like this. I want to experience this, I don't want to experience that. So that's been interesting. That's been an interesting journey.
I love that you used the word polluted as far as our belief system and who we know ourselves to be, because it's you can describe that in terms of sense of self. We grow up with all these dissenting opinions and points of view coming down on us from the time we're a child, and it creates an identity, a sense of self that is polluted by other people's opinions, actions, thoughts, beliefs. And so going through alignment really helps you to get all of that mess, all of that junk, all of that pollution out of you, so that you can then, as you said, gain clarity, feel a sense of truth and empowerment according to you.
Yes.
So when we consider the opinions of others too much, we get lost. Our sense of self gets lost. And that, as you said, I love that you said that, because it's one of the best parts about coming into alignment. Thank you so much. I love the way you described it. Now, how has working on alignment affected how you'll move forward with your business in particular?
Yes. So, okay. So as I joined the course, I was at a stage where I was rebranding as well. I knew something that I was trying to do, and that's the word, trying, trying to do. Somehow it just didn't sit right. Somehow it just didn't feel right. And part of taking the course and understanding myself is to say, you know what, I just don't like this, and that's okay. Why am I hanging on to something that I really don't enjoy? And once I allowed myself to go like explore what is it that I really enjoy, and who, what lights me up, as they say, what am I really, passionate about? And part of that is listening to yourself. So what this course has allowed me to do is listen to myself better. And I mean, that sounds as if like I don't listen to myself at all. It's not that.
Well, we don't, though. It's something that is pervasive in society, as we just touched on. So many people are listening to what their parents think, what their spouse thinks, what their coworkers think, what their friends think, and they've completely lost their sense of self and what they want to do. And especially in business, when you start researching, okay, how to market, how to, create programs or put myself out there or my product or whatever, there's so many different ways to do it, taught by so many different people. The secret really is to finding out what works for you. Who are you? What do you want to do? How can it be authentic to you? And so that brings to mind the title of the alignment course, which is uncovering your authenticity and your inner peace. Yeah. So I love that you said that, because it's so important to do things in a way that feels good to you. Otherwise, you'll get stuck every time. If it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't feel good, that's going to be conveyed in your energy, in your message. You won't have the clients or the success that you're wanting because it's not aligned. So
correct. I mean, and that is all true, and those are, a lot of the feelings that I had during the course as well. And I just okay, here's the other thing that was happening with me, and I don't know whether your people are gonna understand. But I was in a situation where people around me were suggesting to me that I should focus on A, B, and C. So they were
Right.
projecting what they were expecting me to do in business, in my business, right?
Right.
Says, we think that you would make an excellent, property mentor. And, part of my business, part of what I do in life is invest in real estate and property. And so they're projecting onto me, right? And so my mind hearing this was thinking, well, that's true. I mean, after all, I do that. And, I'm very proficient. But when you feel it in your heart and you go in to listen to, okay, but is this really something that I really want to do? and I gave myself the chance to just hear myself out without everybody else projecting whatever their thoughts were for me. Then I got my answer. And so what this course allowed me to do is to just honor my own feelings, my own wishes. And so, I'm now building a business in which I have more resonance with than any other thing that I've tried to do in the past few years, I have to say. So,
So glad to hear that.
yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that. So now that you found the path for your business through taking
Mm,
this course that feels so much better to you,
mm.
when you think about it, how much time do you think you've saved by not going down the suggested path, by not going down the path that was taught to you or given to you or pushed on you?
Yeah, and so uh, time is time, and it's very hard to quantify. I could have, I have this phrase. My phrase is going enthusiastically down the wrong path, and I
Right.
think I would have done that listening to everybody else,
Yeah.
going, going like, oh, maybe they're right. Let me just do this. Let me just try this. And what this course has given me is the opportunity to say, hey, hold on, wait a minute. Something does not feel right. Let me
Right.
take a moment and reflect. Let me take a moment and journal about this. Let me take a moment and just be with myself to really hear what it is that my soul is desiring to do, right? And just and I think that that's the thing. The course has just given me my own given me an opportunity to say, hang on, hey, you know what? This course is making me listen to myself just that little bit more.
Yeah.
Then,
And it's a
so
blessing that we don't have to find out how much time you would have spent on a path
exactly,
that didn't feel good.
exactly. So I think I started off our call saying that I felt called to do this program. And that calling is divine intervention of some sort that you are going enthusiastically down the wrong path. Hang on a minute. Let me give you a tool, the course, to get you back on track. And in a way, I feel that that's what's happened during this time. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I think that it speaks to another amazing blessing of taking this course before you make any big life changes, before you start your business or rebrand. Work
Mm,
on your alignment first, because you could be starting a project or beginning a business or going down a path that is not going to work out, only you don't know it yet. You're doing it based on what you think you should do, not what you want to do, but you don't quite yet know what you want to do because you're not in alignment enough to find out or to know. So,
yes. And okay, here's the other thing as well. Um, what this course has, one of the tools it gives you is this ability to um, not just tune in, but to discern. So, I was working with a mentor who had a very specific way of doing or, setting up, structuring the business. And so I was listening, and you kind of go like, well, I've invested, and this person is very knowledgeable and stuff like that. But something in you says, yeah, it doesn't. So sort of honoring yourself and giving yourself the opportunity to go, yeah, but I want to do this another way. Uh, yeah, but I want to adapt this for me. Just
Mm-hmm.
having the opportunity to having the um, giving yourself the permission. That's it. Giving yourself the permission to say, no, I want to do it my way. I want to do it my way. And that's big. That's big in business because everybody is trying to teach their strategy, what's worked for them, and yet life is about what's working for you. Right?
Exactly. Yes, that's so important. One of the keys to alignment. You said it perfectly. I have
Okay.
nothing to add to
Thank you.
that. Okay. So what are some of the tools or techniques the course has given you that are going to be beneficial to you in the long term? So after this experience is over, what are you taking with you into your future?
Can I actually tell them?
Yeah,
Can
tell.
I tell them the tools and techniques? So, okay. So, many things. Number one is there's a few techniques that is in this program that allows you to understand the situation, understand a person in a very different way. And, you know, I mean, like, short of explaining this technique, okay, so let's do it this way. I kind of say one of the techniques uh, that will help me going forward is to take a step back from any difficult situation, I would say,
Right.
and go into and in this program we talk about higher self, your your inner knowing, wisdom, all of these words, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you go to a place where you have this infinite wisdom available to you, and you can't, you reflect. You're not just reacting to a situation because it's we've often talked about in our coaching calls. I said, okay, I had somebody coming at me verbally angry, and I'm meeting this energy in a very similar way, but that's no good for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the techniques that we learn in this program is to get a better outcome in those kind of situations.
Yes.
And yeah, I would say that so often when I'm feeling the feels
Right.
and do
The
in life,
tiger's
right?
getting ready to pounce.
Yeah, exactly. Feeling the feels, it's about like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, I cannot escalate this already sort of difficult situation. Let me be the voice of calm, let me be the voice of reason, and let me take a step back. And sometimes it's energetic step back to understand what is going on, you know and so that's a technique that we get to learn in this program, and that is one of the main things that is going to help me in business, in life, you know.
That's awesome. And learning, basically it's wisdom. It's
Mm,
wisdom for interpersonal relationships.
mm,
It's emotional maturity and intelligence, the stuff that we're not taught in school, the stuff that we don't often get from our parents. And learning how to manage conflict in a way that actually serves us can be priceless.
yeah,
And once you get it, you don't forget it. Once you
yeah.
learn these techniques in order to remain calm when you're being attacked, whether
Mm,
it's verbally or in whatever situation it's in, whether it's personal or with family, friends, or business, learning how to respond in
mm,
a thoughtful way and learning how to set the tone with your own energy it does a world of difference and a world of good for you
Yeah,
and all the people around you. So
absolutely.
thank
And what
you.
I've enjoyed about okay, so we had this was a group coaching call that we're coming into as part of the program. And here's another thing I will say about group coaching. There's the material in the module that is delivered through video, and you can read it as well and so on. But what I've enjoyed with the group coaching call is we get to bring a situation or ask a question and get a deeper understanding about what we've just read about or heard about. And that's been invaluable because sometimes I'm reading something and I kind of go, I think I understand, but do I really? And I bring the question to the call and we have a conversation about it. That's been invaluable. And then, this is what happened this week while I'm going through this program. This is a real life situation. How do I use the alignment course, what I'm learning to deal with the situation and getting coached by you on this? That has been so invaluable. you
Thank
know
you so much. I love that. And you have taught me even more about how beneficial it is for my clients to get that group experience, because as you said in one of the last calls, you can learn from what everyone else is going through because everyone brings a different scenario or real life situation to the calls to get advice or coaching on. And by me helping each of you reframe what's happening in your individual lives, there becomes a new collective understanding that you can then take back to maybe another situation that comes up for you in the future. And you can think, oh, hey, this happened to so-and-so, and this is how we were taught to work through it. And now I can apply it to that. So thank you so
yeah,
much.
yeah. Another interesting thing about the group coaching call is that there have been many instances throughout my life where I'm with a certain type of person, a certain group of people, and for example, all through my corporate life, I've only been with folks who've gone to university, working in corporate, and come up through the ranks in a very structured way. And now that I'm outside, now that I've left corporate, the circle of friends, the circle of people that I interact with are from a plethora of different educational backgrounds and experiences. And, there are moments where I kind of like struggle. Oh my gosh, I don't know this type of, not this type of, this background. I
Yeah.
don't know, how they've gone through life in this way. I do not resonate. And to come to a group coaching call where there's so many different personalities and you kind of appreciate the journey that everyone has taken, and you kind of go, you know what, how rich is our life, because there's just I might not understand like exactly what the other person has gone through in getting here, but I have a better appreciation of another way of life, and that is invaluable. That's just invaluable. So that's been another blessing, which again, not on your sales page.
I know, right? It's like I can't fit everything in. I just can't. But, what you're reminding me of is, the lesson on oneness and
Mm,
understanding that everyone is on a different place in their evolutionary journey. And if we can meet people where they are, it reduces so much of the frustration that we have with them based on what they're doing, saying, and how they're behaving towards us
yes.
that we didn't have before coming to those lessons and reaching those conclusions and having that inner wisdom. So
And
thank
that
you.
is so big. That bit where meeting people where they're at. That is so big because that's helped me calm down. I'm like, why are they so? I'm like, why are people so this or that? And I kind of go, and now there's this calmness where I kind of go like, you know what, their their experience of life has brought them here, and I just need to calm down and understand where they're at and accept them for where they're at, and we'll be fine. We'll be good, right?
Yes. And your
So that's
experience
it.
is,
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you said that, because your experience is so common for type A's, perfectionists, those people out there who are
Yeah.
overachievers. You know, when we're encountered with people who don't resonate with that personality type, we do tend to feel that frustration. And if we can get to a place where we realize, hey, they're doing the best that they can with
Mm.
what they know, then we don't need to let that inner tiger out, and we can actually use the wisdom that the course teaches to take a deep breath, like you said, meet them where they're at, and just having that perspective to move forward with reduces so much conflict, so much
Angst.
frustration that we
Yeah.
actually are stirring up within ourselves.
Yeah,
And
I mean, and I've shared with you,
realize,
like,
yeah,
like right now I'm going through as a mom, right? So right now I'm going through math lessons with my daughter. Now, the context is I'm a qualified accountant. So of course my daughter must be good with numbers. And when she's struggling and I'm like feeling so much angst because, oh my God, how can my child, as I clutch my invisible pearls and say, oh my God, how can my child not be getting this? And I realized that, you know what? She's a different child. Why am I getting wound up about this? I just need to calm down better and take this slowly, because I, I, I see her that I see her, because she's more creative than analytical. I'm more analytical. And
yeah,
so there is that, understanding of who is in front of me. And so as a parent, I kind of like it, the course has helped me go like, okay, wait a minute. Let me just accept the person that is standing in front of me for who they are and how they feel, and on this subject is math, um,
yeah.
about this. And we've had like countless conversations about this.
Yeah, I remember that call where we talked about that, and you shared that it had been frustrating for you. And, I asked you a few
Mhm.
questions, and you started to realize, wow, like, I'm not really frustrated with her. It's not about her. These feelings are coming from
For
me. These
me.
feelings are all about me and my expectations, and
That's
me
right.
viewing her as an extension of me rather than as her own person.
Exactly.
And yes, I remember that
By
call
not
very well.
projecting, like,
Yes.
as parents, you're like, if you realize that, okay, oh my gosh, I'm projecting something and I'm not really seeing the person in front of me, and getting to that realization. Again, all of this, without having done the work that we've been tasked to do in this program, invited to do in this program. I never get there. I'll just be like type A, fly off the handle, and go like, how can
Yeah.
this be my child?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
I love that you shared that, and thank you for sharing that, because that is a personal story, but that's going to resonate with a lot of the moms out there. I think most mothers go through that type of scenario in one way or another. So thank you for sharing that and how you worked through it, because that's going to be invaluable to the moms that are watching who are considering stepping into this journey of alignment. That's definitely going to be, I would think, a highlight for them, is realizing, hey, like, I have an opportunity here to become an even better parent, to become someone who can view the situation for what it is, the person for who they are, my child for who they are, as
Yeah.
opposed to allowing my projections to spill out unconsciously. So
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah. No, you're welcome.
Okay, so do you feel that going through this course has given you a chance to see, I mean, you've touched on this before, but if you have anything else to say about it, do you feel that going through the course has given you a chance to see and understand certain parts of yourself that you wouldn't have otherwise?
Mm, mm. everything that I've mentioned before still holds true. I will say, here's the other thing, yet another intangible. How much listening to yourself actually is rooted in a sense of certainty. And that's such a powerful emotion to be, because it's when you allow yourself to listen to yourself, you come from such a place of strength and certainty in the actions, in the decisions, in the feelings that you have. And I probably am not doing it justice by even stating this. um, I think you kind of like, it'll come to you once you've done the program. But yeah, that's another intangible, because I think like if you had said before the program, like, hey, you know what, you're gonna feel strong. I would have said, what do you mean? What?
Yes, sounds kind of vague until you go through
Yes,
it yourself. And so many
yes.
people, women especially, we go through life questioning ourselves, questioning everything. How do I look? How do I sound? How am I being perceived? What do people think of me? Am I making the right choices? Am I making the right decisions? And we second guess over and over and over again. And we get stuck, especially those of us who are entrepreneurs in our business. What should I
Yeah.
do? How should I do it? Am I doing it this way or that way? There's hundreds of different ways to do any little thing. And so I like what you said right now about certainty. You've shared so much about how it's changed you for the better. And then, in my asking, okay, is there anything else you could say about that? And then you came up with certainty. That is so important. And people don't realize what a breath of fresh air it is, and how it feels. Like, I keep taking a deep breath when I'm talking about it, because when you have that sense of certainty, it feels like a load is off your shoulders. It feels like, until you're in alignment, until you have that sense of self that feels strong and sure. When you're sure of yourself, you feel, you can look back on your past and feel and see that you've been like carrying like this heavy load. It's almost like you're a pack mule, your whole life carrying, bags of
Yeah.
boulders up this hill. And then
Yeah.
you go through this process and you can start shedding all of that weight, and you feel like, God, what was I doing all of that before? Why was I doing that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would say you move through life. And here's what I'm looking forward to: moving through life with more certainty, with more ease, because because once you know that I'm honoring myself, I'm honoring what I'm hearing, my intuition is telling me go for it. I'm going to learn something. There's going to be a lesson. That's all okay. I'm actually, the universe has my back. I'm, going to be looked after. If nothing works out, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, life is an experience, and that's all there is.
That was beautiful. I love that so much. Thank you. Yes,
Oh.
I'm so glad that that's what you've gotten out of this, and that's what that sense of certainty and being sure of yourself has brought you. That's lovely. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is something that we've kind of touched on a little bit, but people in general tend to feel like they're at the mercy of others and life itself. And so this sense of empowerment that you have now, going through this course, I mean, how do you feel about that? About knowing now that you are the creator, you are the one directing your life, now that you have this chance to be so much more intentional than you knew you could be?
Okay, so in a way, I want to say that's a really big question. And yet, okay, we all know that nobody can make us feel how, like we make ourselves feel it's not somebody else making us feel
Well,
that
you
way.
know that
It's
now.
always like, yeah,
Most
exactly, right?
people think
But
other people make me feel, other people are
yeah,
doing it to me. Now you know. That's how much,
okay,
how second nature it is to you now. You're
it
like,
has,
duh.
yeah.
So
Yeah, but okay, so what do I want to say about this? Okay, so several things. Number one, you know that adage, life is a choice. You get to choose what you want to experience.
yeah,
And it's true. The truth is you can come into this program and either not believe, either believe that you have choice and you get to control your choice and all of that stuff, and then open up, and then it kind of like supports that truth that you walk into this program with. Or maybe you walk into this program thinking, I don't know, I don't have much of a choice in my life, things are always happening to me, I don't have choice, I don't have it. I think that this program gives you another gives you another perspective. That's the word,
good.
sorry. It gives
That's
you
okay.
another it
Yeah,
gives you a perspective. It gives you the opportunity to think about this in a completely different way. So whatever perceptions you have about how life works for you, whether I don't have choice, I have choice, people are always, in integrity, people are not in integrity, whatever beliefs you have walking into this program is going to challenge those beliefs, give you the opportunity to either carry on or get take another perspective or think about it in another way, and then you kind of like leave the program. I truly believe in a better state. I really believe in a better state, because as long as you're willing to go deep and ask those questions and really challenge your thoughts, beliefs, and everything about your life, and you get to redesign it. You get to take the best, leave the rest.
right.
Yay!
Yes, exactly. And I think it's in module 3 that we go through that, where I ask you to look into your beliefs, values, and find out what's working for you. Is it really working anymore? Reevaluate it,
Yeah.
and then make different choices moving forward based on what you actually want to create.
And
So,
again,
yeah,
isn't that so? Just doing that alone gets you to a place of certainty. We talked about certainty before, right? It's like, okay, you know what? Like, I don't want to subscribe to my mom's what will other people think.
right. Exactly.
I'm like, no.
Yeah,
Right? Because that is a value that I adopted from somebody else, and how it plays out, how it hasn't helped me is it it means that I hold back in business and in life because I'm worried about what will other people think, right? And this is how all these values that you've adopted from others play out. um, Nobody taught me like one of my other values, which is to experience life. Like, just I love to travel. And because somewhere along the line, somewhere in my life, I've decided that, I want to experience life. That's the positive side to that is I've traveled to, 42 countries and counting.
that's
Okay.
amazing.
Right. So for me, so I'm like thinking, okay, you know what? I don't know. So who taught me that particular value? But I'm gonna keep it because I like it, and it's given me so many more positive opportunities and so many positive stories in my life. The one that I adopted, sorry to my mom, but this whole like, what will other people think? It hasn't really supported me. So
Right.
get back to my mom. That's what
Thank you for, yes, give it back. Thank you for sharing both of those, because that's perfect. The course asks you, what do you want to keep? What do you want to let go? You discovered a value that was taught to you that you want to let go. You discovered a value that you grew up with that you want to keep because it served you so well.
Yes.
So in going through the alignment process, we dive deep. We find out what's working, what's not working. What do we want to keep? What do we want to let go? And that's how we create a really intentional existence that actually feels happy in every way, not just in some ways sometimes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay. So now alignment is something that I hope people are beginning to understand now, but it means something different for each person. So to you, what has it meant for you to come into alignment?
So, good question. So for me, alignment has been honoring myself. Because when you're tuning in and getting the answers from within and actually asking yourself, is this for my highest good, what I'm about to do or what I'm about to say or how I'm about to be, is this for my highest good? It's about honoring yourself, you know? And the other thing about alignment is, so Maliha always says this, she goes, alignment first and then the rest, okay? And having lived life where the rest has come first and then alignment kind of sort of accidentally happens, I now understand what it means, alignment first. Because if I don't take a moment to just really check in with myself and just go for things based on what other people say, I can't guarantee the results. The results is scattered, not, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out and stuff like that. And then I'm left with asking the question, what just happened? What? Right? But when you come from a place where you've checked in with yourself and even if you don't know 100% how it's going to work out, but you've made the choice that this feels right, let me go for it, see what happens, and then take the lesson and then make a different decision, that feels so grounded. And I'm back to using the word certainty. That's going to be my word, I think. Coming from a place of certainty because you've checked it.
I love that. I love that. Honoring yourself, coming to a place of clarity, of certainty. Beautiful. So many people don't have that. So many people have other things in their life that are working well, but they don't have that. Yes. And a lot of people, they know they're not happy. They know they're on the verge of being depressed or are depressed or have anxiety or are sick and tired of doubting themselves. Whatever the case may be, they're unhappy and they don't know why. But if they search deep down, they'll find out they're not honoring themselves. They don't have certainty. They don't feel good about who they are. They don't know who they are anymore.
Yes.
They've spent so much time giving and giving and giving to others, which is fine. Especially as parents, you've got to be giving. But there comes a time when you've crossed the line from giving in a healthy way to just letting yourself go as far as not checking in with who you are, not honoring yourself, not knowing what you want, not giving to yourself in a way that actually enriches your life.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So the very first thing, maybe it's the very first thing, or no, it's not the first thing. It's the second thing.
Okay.
Once we got into the first module, that's what it was. When you said, okay, let's go. Who are you? And, I think we've all been trained to answer the question, I'm a mom, I'm a consultant, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm this, I'm a Sagittarius, which I am. Yeah. I'm this, that, and the other. And when the ask from you in the first module was, no, it's not that, go deep. I'm like, oh. Then it became very interesting very quickly because if you've never really taken the time to ask yourself, who am I? Yeah, that just throws you
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
That
Most
just
people don't know
and
the
yeah,
answer.
that was my I was like, well, damn, I don't know.
Exactly. Most people don't know the answer. They don't know who they are because they're not used to asking themselves. They take
Correct.
on the role that they play, which
Correct.
is different from who they
Correct.
are. So yes, that's what we
Correct.
start with.
Yes.
Aside from the
So,
role you play, do you know who you are? Most people can't answer that.
mm,
So
yeah.
again, that's a major part of alignment that leads to honoring yourself. But you have to know who you are in order to honor yourself.
Exactly.
Then you get
Exactly.
certainty.
And,
Yeah.
and 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 that's why the program is set up the way it's set up, because later on in the modules, you tie back. If I hadn't answered the who am I question, I sure as hell could not answer, sorry, could not answer the other questions later on, because without knowing a sense of self, you can't answer the other questions, or you'll struggle. Basically, you'll struggle. It's not
Yeah.
you can't. You just struggle.
Yeah.
And again, I go back to certainty, right? So if you don't know who you are truly, then that itself is an uncertain situation to be in. So
Yes.
how can you then create certainty starting from an uncertain place? So
Yep. That's exactly why module 1 is the foundation. Yes. You're a star student. I've told you this before, but I'll tell you again. You truly are. Okay. So
Oh, thanks.
my last question, what would you tell someone who is unsure of taking this course? What do they need to hear?
Um, so I really do feel that as someone is reading, whether this is a sales page, whether listening to this, there is a calling. There is some kind of call. Now, and that call is placed by you, really. It's really just coming from you, and if you're starting to hear yourself, and then you go, oh no, now's not the right time. Really? Now's not the right time to work on yourself? Really? Oh, you know what? I'm just too busy with life, da da da. And I always say, you know what? Life is always very busy, but yet I know that something in this calling is telling me that this is the right investment for me. You know, one of my mantras is I always bet on me. I always bet on me. And when I do something that is going to be the betterment of myself, how can that be a bad thing? That can only be a good thing. And so, another thing I will share is when I was looking at this program, I had the usuals. Is this the right time? Do I, is this, am I right in even hearing myself? Am I right in even feeling this way? And the truth is that me wanting to see a better version of myself for the future, that feeling was greater than any fears that I had about, oh, is it the right time? Do I have enough? No. All these really, fears, this false fears, right?
Yes, false fears,
False fears. Ask yourself,
ego
is
fear.
this a real fear or is this a false fear?
Yeah.
Because when I started thinking, really, it, if it's a false fear, then you know what to do, right? The pull of investing in yourself and being a better version of yourself, that if that is stronger, listen to that. for me, that was the case. The pull of being a better version of myself, understanding myself. You know, I was tired of the whole world telling me, or tired of actually getting the answers from outside as if that was the truth.
Yeah.
um, and I was just so tired of that. And I just just said, no, I want to go within, and I feel that this is the program that's going to help me get there. And indeed it is. Indeed it is. Um, yeah, that's what I want to say
Thank you
to
so
this.
much. And, that's really valuable for people to hear because just like with doing anything new, little fears are going to crop up. It's just your subconscious trying to keep you safe and to avoid anything uncomfortable. But nothing great comes inside our comfort zone. It's when we step out of it that we actually experience a world of possibilities. So thank you for sharing how you came to the decision to join and how much it's done for you and your whole experience. And thank you for doing this interview with me today. You've been
Sure.
such a blessing to me this entire time. And I just want to express my gratitude and tell you thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I've enjoyed it so much. You must know this.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like this has been like one of the most freeing exercises, programs, things that I've given myself, and I hope, like, as once I'm in my 80s, I don't know, 90s, even as I look back at the various things I've given myself to as an experience, this is going to stand out because I'm going to look
Oh,
back and think that was the time when I finally allowed myself to trust myself, to listen to my wisdom, you know. Yeah, so yeah, I'll always remember it for that. Mhm.
that is one of the best compliments I have ever received. You've made my entire month. Thank
Mhm.
you so much. Thank you for everything you've shared. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. You will always have my gratitude. And I'm so blessed that we shared in this together. Like we've come to the conclusion many times before, since
Yeah,
starting, it was divinely inspired.
yeah.
And thank you for honoring that call that
You're
your soul was giving to you because it brought you to me. It brought you this. Um,
yes.
I've gotten so much from this experience too. So thank you.
No, thank you.
All right. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye, Shari. Thank you.